One day, a young monk came over and asked the Zen master, "Master, what is the greatest value of my life?" The Zen master said, "You go to the back garden to move a big stone and sell it in the vegetable market. If someone asks for the price, you don't talk, just hold out two fingers. If he bargains with you, don't sell, just hold it back, and master will tell you what the greatest value of your life is." Early the next morning, the little monk held a big stone in his arms. Go to the vegetable market to sell it. There were people coming and going in the vegetable market, and people were very curious. A housewife came over and asked, "How much does the stone cost?" The monk held out two fingers and the housewife said, 2 yuan. The little monk shook his head and the housewife said, "Then it's 20 yuan. All right. I just took it back to press the sauerkraut." When the little monk heard this, he was surprised that someone actually paid 20 yuan to buy a worthless stone. We have plenty of it on the mountain, so the little monk did not sell it and went to see the master happily. Master, there is a housewife who is willing to pay 20 yuan today. Yuan, buy my stone. Master, can you tell me now, what is the greatest value of my life? The Zen master said, "Well, don't worry, you can take this stone to the museum early tomorrow morning. If someone asks for the price, you still hold out two fingers. If he counteroffers, don't sell it and take it back. Let's talk again." The next morning, in the museum, a group of curious people gathered around and whispered, "What value does an ordinary stone have in a museum?" Since this stone is displayed in the museum. In the museum, it must have its value, but we don't know it yet. At this time, a man walked out of the crowd and shouted to the little monk, "Little monk, how much did you sell this stone for?" The little monk said nothing and stretched out two fingers. The man said, 200 yuan. The little monk shook his head, and the man said, 2,000 yuan, just 2,000 yuan. I just want to use it to carve a statue of God. When the little monk heard this, he took a step back and was very surprised. He still followed the master's instructions and carried the stone back to the mountain and went to see the master. "Master, someone wants to pay 2,000 yuan for this stone today. You must tell me this time, what is the greatest value in my life? Right?" The Zen master laughed and said, "You will take this stone to an antique shop to sell it tomorrow. As usual, if someone makes a counteroffer, you will take it back. This time the master will definitely tell you what the greatest value of your life is." Early on the morning of the third day, the little monk came to the antique shop with a big stone in his arms. There were still some people watching, and some people were talking about it. "What kind of stone is this? Where was it unearthed? What era is it from? What is it used for?" Finally, a man came over and asked the price. "Little monk, how much did you sell this stone for?" The little monk remained silent and held out two fingers. 20,000 yuan. The young monk opened his eyes. With big eyes and mouth, he yelled in surprise, "Huh!" The rich man thought his bid was too low. He was so angry that the young monk immediately corrected him and said, "No. I made a mistake, I want to give you 200,000 yuan. When the little monk heard this, he immediately picked up the stone and ran back to the mountain to see the master. He panted and said, Master, now we are prosperous. Today's donor offered 200,000 yuan to buy our stone. Now, you can always tell me what the greatest value of my life is, right?" The Zen master touched the little monk's head and said lovingly, "My child, the greatest value of your life is like the stone. In the vegetable market, you are only worth 20 yuan. If you put yourself in a museum, you are worth 2,000 yuan. If you put yourself in an antique store, you are worth 200,000 yuan. Different platforms, different positioning, life the value will be completely different." Has this story inspired you to think about your own life? How will you position your life? In what kind of life auction are you going to put yourself up for auction? What kind of life stage are you looking for yourself? You are not afraid that others will look down on you, but you are afraid that you will look down on yourself. Who says you have no value? No one can give any definition to your life unless you treat yourself like a broken rock in the mud. The path you choose will determine the kind of life you have. Why is it that a boss never gives up easily no matter how difficult the situation is, but an employee wants to run away when things go wrong? Why does a couple never get divorced easily no matter how serious the conflict is, while a couple often fights over trivial matters? Just separated. In the final analysis, how much you invest in a thing or relationship determines how much pressure you can withstand, how successful you can achieve, and how long you can stick to it. Malin said that greatness is achieved through hard work. Why endure? Because you have to bear the grievances that ordinary people cannot bear. Ordinary people need understanding, comfort and encouragement from others, but you don't have that. Ordinary people vent their emotions by fighting against negative accusations, but you must see love and light. Disciple asks, Master, do you sometimes hit and curse people, but sometimes you are polite to them? Is there any mystery behind this? Master said, treat the upper-class people directly, hit or scold them, treat them with their true colors, treat the middle-class people as metaphors, be measured, they can't stand being beaten or scolded, treat the lower-class people with a smile, put your hands together, he is fragile and small-minded, and can only be treated with worldly courtesy. The kind of grievance you endure determines the kind of person you can become. For a person who cannot swim, changing swimming pools will not solve the problem. For a person who doesn't know how to do things, changing jobs will not solve his ability. A boss who doesn't learn will never achieve sustained success. For a person who doesn't understand proper health care, no matter how much medicine he takes or how good the hospital equipment is, he can't solve the problem. You are the root of everything. If you want to change, you must first change yourself. Learning is the basis for changing yourself. What you love is yourself, what you like is also yourself. What you love and what you hate is yourself. Everything changes when you change. Your world is what you make it. You are sunshine, and your world is full of sunshine, you are love, and you live in an atmosphere of love, you are happiness, and you are in laughter. Similarly, if you complain, criticize, and resent every day, you live in an atmosphere of love. In hell, life is like going to heaven and going to hell.